Hey crafty friends, this is Chelsea, and if you're anything like me, then sometimes you are totally stumped when it comes to starting a scrapbook layout. Well, one of the best ways to start a layout is with a sketch. This book that I'm flipping through is the Make It From Your Heart books from Close to My Heart. That was volume 5, and this one is volume 6, which is the new one. There are single 12 by 12 layouts, there's double pages, there's even card designs and slimline card designs. I love that these books are organized by how many photos are on each layout. And there is a sketch showing you dimensions and measurements. It tells you exactly what size to cut your papers out at, and then it gives you a couple of full color examples, which is really handy to kind of jumpstart your creativity and give you an idea of how this page could come together. Now, when I'm starting my scrapbooking process with a sketch, I will either then pick my paper collection or my photos. Today I'm starting with paper collection because this gorgeous Silver Bells collection, I did not get as much use out of this as I wanted to, so I wanted to make one last layout with it. I love that it's all neutrals, grays and browns, and I got the scrapbooking workshop kit, so it has all these extra pieces that can go along with it. You can combine any colors with this because it's all neutral. So I'm going to grab out my Versamat and of course start with a white piece of cardstock, and then I'm just going to start laying out my pieces. Now feel free to improvise with what you have or what goes with your photos. I added in some Harbour cardstock because it just so happened I had these really cute pictures of my daughter from Christmas Eve last year, and the Harbour color went really good with her dress. Now you'll notice that my photo sizes are a little bit different than the sketch, which is totally okay. The sketch is a starting point, but I had 3 photos I wanted to use, so I shrunk them down. 2 of them are 3x4s and then 1 is a 4x6. I also wanted to double mat my large 4x6 photo, so I'm using Mink and charcoal cardstock for the big photo, and then the smaller photos I used just charcoal cardstock. Sorry for the focus, it keeps pulling in and out. I got a new phone and the focus is different from my old phone, so that's something I need to figure out. It did not like my ATG gun coming in and it was having trouble picking where to focus. I had a bunch of photos from this Christmas Eve. Like I said, this was last year, and I just had to use this picture. I know it's from behind. You can see my daughter going up the stairs to bed. This will be part of my journaling. It's just a really super cute story about how excited she was. It was kind of the first year that she was excited for Christmas coming, and she kind of understood what that meant to a certain degree. And she started out super excited downstairs, and as we got to the top of the stairs, you could see the concerned look on her face. She did not want to go to bed, and things kind of went south pretty fast. I am mostly following the design that is in the sketch, and I'm just kind of lining up all the little pieces, figuring out where everything goes, because basically I just kind of chopped up my paper according to the measurements, and now this is the first time kind of laying it out and figuring out where it's going to go. Now because I'm working with those 2 3x4 photos instead of another 4x6, that changes things a little bit, kind of changes the dimensions. I have more of that Harbour cardstock kind of sticking out there. It looks kind of empty. So I grabbed this die cut border piece from the die cuts that come with the scrapbooking workshop. These only come in scrapbooking workshop. There's always custom pieces that are in there, and I love being able to use those and just adding on to my paper pack. Now I'm trying to figure out what size to make this. I decided to cut it down just a little bit more. I'm trying to kind of make the ends look even, so that's why I'm just zipping off a little bit from the top and the bottom, but I want to fill in that little bit of extra. Now, of course, what you do to one side, you want to do to the other. So I'm going to add the border over there, but I'm going to add a little piece of it, kind of the remaining chunk, over on the other side of my clusters as well. Now, because I was working with 2 photos instead of 1 photo right there, I do spend quite a bit of time messing around, figure out how I want them layered together and what would look good to me. I always leave myself the option to change up a sketch. So even if I'm starting with a sketch, I know I can always make adjustments. I can always add pieces, take pieces away, rearrange the pieces. It's just a starting place. a way to break that blank page and get me going so I don't spend hours just kind of sitting there looking at my photos and looking at my paper. Now, I know I want to keep this fast and easy, and that means limiting my supplies. I have the whole gorgeous sticker sheet to use. There's so much nice foiling on here, really pretty words, like the fonts are so pretty. So I'm just kind of laying these out. I'm not sticking them down because they're very sticky, but I'm just kind of laying them there and seeing if they will work, if I like how it looks there. I usually do end up pouncing the back of my stickers with my anti-static pouch to just take away the stickiness so I can lay them right on my page and not worry about them sticking where I don't want them. I also decided I needed some definition on my pieces, so I'm going to use charcoal ink and my mini ink blending tool here and just hitting the very edge of all my pieces. And this just adds a little bit of definition, especially when you're layering, like the clustering in the center there. It's nice to have that extra definition. Now, while I'm kind of playing with the background, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more. These really pretty borders, they are gold foil and they are stickers from the sticker sheet. So the sketch only showed two pieces. It actually showed that the bottom piece should only be 1/4 of an inch. These strips are 1/2 an inch, and then I have like 1/8 of an inch strip of the Harbour cardstock that I just put over where the two meet. Now here at the bottom, I decided to put the other strip right at the bottom, and then I'm going to adhere the pattern paper strip that I already cut over 1/2 of that. Rather than trying to cut it, I could have cut it, but this way I don't have to worry about messing it up. Now on my inspiration layout, they did some ink blending kind of in the two corners, and I wanted to replicate that. I've been doing a lot of ink blending on my backgrounds lately. I don't know why, I just love it, and I'm in this ink blending phase right now. So they had it in the sample layout, and I'm going to repeat that here on my page. I'm using Harbour and I'm using an ink blending brush. I find this style of blending brush works so good with the Close to My Heart inks. I get a better kind of softness and more blended look than I do with like a foam ink blending tool. And I can just really control how dark the color is because you have to layer it up quite a bit to kind of get where you want to get with it. It starts out very light, which is good. I have a little bit more control. I tend to go heavy-handed, so this helps me to be not quite so heavy-handed. And I always make sure I start that ink blending brush where it's going to be hidden. So you can see I'm starting under the corner of the paper and then blending out from there so I don't end up with any harsh lines or like polka dots. You can see the part that's hidden looks a little rough, and that's because that's where I'm first starting my brush and the ink is the darkest when I first put it down. You can also tap off on scrap paper, but I would still recommend starting your brush on your page where it's first going to be hidden. Now I'm going to bring my pieces back in and start attaching them into place and just figure out exactly where I'm putting everything and commit to that spot. And I would say I spent way too long doing this part. And I think it's really the fact that I used 3 photos instead of 2. So I felt like I couldn't exactly copy the sample. I couldn't follow the measurements that are given for exactly how far in the pieces are supposed to go. And you know what? That would be my biggest tip. One, if you wanted to do it the absolute fastest possible way, and also the like foolproof way, don't change anything. Use the same size photos, same number of photos, because all the measurements are right on the sketch that tell you this piece is 3 inches in from the side and this piece is 2.5 inches down from the top. And so you can actually whip these pages together really fast. But I introduced the whole, I want to use more photos and different sizes. And so then I just played around with it a little bit more, which is not bad. But keep in mind, if you don't want to spend that extra time like playing with that and kind of figuring out where things go, then, just stick with the way it is designed. I love that flexibility with sketches. You can, really make it your own, or you can copy it exactly. There's nothing wrong with either way. As you probably know, there is more than one way to start a layout. So my most recent video, I actually start with product to inspire my design. And I'm going to link that at the end of this video because if you're looking for ways to start off your pages to just get off the ground and get started when you have some time to scrapbook, I think you might find that one really interesting as well. And I usually rotate between different ways of starting my layouts, whether that's with the photos, with the design, a sketch, a technique. Like there's lots of different ways to do it. But I think this one, starting with a sketch, is the absolute easiest. As I was laying all my pieces down, I realized that I had a bigger gap on the left than the right. On the right hand side, the papers went closer to the edge because I added that extra little piece with that bracket shape on it. So I cut out another piece of that gray pattern and stuck it on the left just to balance things. Now, originally I was going to do a diagonal design kind of pattern with my embellishments, but then I decided I wanted a third point of embellishment. I felt like that corner needed it. It looked just kind of plain and empty. My journaling is going to be going at the bottom, so I felt like it needed something. So I'm just holding up stickers from the sticker sheet and trying to decide what I like. And I decided to cluster these two ornaments and then also add a little word sticker there that says Mary, and adds a little touch of foil in there, but nothing too crazy. I went ahead and did my journaling off camera. I do like to draw in pencil lines first and then write, and then once my pen is dry, then I erase the lines. There's no way I can write in a straight line like that without having some pencil lines. I got the whole story in there. I had enough room, which was awesome. A lot of times I run out of room, but there was something bothering me. And I felt like I needed something over on that side. So I reached to the die cut sheets that come in the workshop. This little piece that says date on it, that's what I ended up settling on. And if you're interested in seeing how I start my process with product, click on this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye.